Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal. Yesterday, we finally got the opportunity to hop on patch 9.2, the public test realms. There's a lot to explore in this patch. The brand new zone, the brand new raid, all the different bosses, Mythic Tazavesh, and much more. But the one part I'm super excited about this update are the tier sets. And more importantly, the different playstyles that the tier set bonuses offer. Today I want to explore the tier set bonuses for Assassination, Subtlety, and Outlaw, and how the gameplay changes will be affected by the respective sets. It's also worth noting that 9.2 is still in testing. There's a lot of changes that are happening every single day, and there's a good chance that these tier sets might not be the same by the time it comes out to live. But before we dive into the rogue sets, most of you guys watching this videos are not subscribed, and the more of you I ask, the more of you follow, so let's keep it going. Subscribe to the channel as well as hit the bell if you watch these videos anyway, especially if you want to see more class updates for patch 9.2 or any World of Warcraft updates going forward. Starting with the Assassination Tier Set, the 2-piece bonus reads, Shiv's debuff also causes your bleeds to gain 25% critical strike chance for 9 seconds. The 4-piece reads, Vendetta causes your poisons and bleeds on your target to expire 100% faster. This means that your Rupture that usually does its full damage over 24 seconds, during Vendetta will do it over half the time, 12 seconds. This means that Rupture will tick faster over 12 seconds, which will impact your energy regen, granting you more energy over those bleeds. The same thing happens with Garrote, the more ticks as well as faster energy regen. So you get faster ticking bleeds that tick out during the Shiv crit debuff window. From my testing, this makes bleeds a bigger portion of your single target damage output. Normally in a standard setting, Assassination leads its damage with poisons, Envenom and Deadly Poison together with auto attacks taking the lead. Your bleeds are there and they are doing damage, and they provide you that valuable energy, but they're not really the highlight of your damage output. The tier sets allows to bring Rupture and Garrote way up, sometimes above Envenom and auto attacks. This heavy focus on bleeds creates an opportunity for us to play Exsanguinate instead of Alacrity, adding an extra keybind to press during our rotation. It's also worth noting that Exsanguinate and Vendetta, the faster bleed out speeds, both of those effects stack together. Because of how fast your bleeds tick, it creates for a burst situation. If your rogue naturally has 25% crit on their gear, together with a Shiv debuff that provides 25% more chance to crit, and with the talent of Master Assassin during Vanish, you get 50% more chance to crit, your bleeds gain 100% critical strike chance during the faster bleed out window, which could create some deadly burst situations for Assassination rogues, bleeding enemies dry. The tier set is interesting. I like how during Vendetta, my playstyle is faster as Vendetta speeds up bleeds, which gives me much better energy regeneration. I found Exsanguinate more interesting than Alacrity, and trying to find ways to get Shiv and Exsanguinate in the same window is a lot more engaging. This heavy set on bleeds together with already potent poisons will make Zaldic execute windows extra deadly. And this bleed Vendetta playstyle together with Dustwalker's patch seems like an obvious combo. Where I found it a bit lacking is testing this in Mythic Pluses. The bleeds are fine for Assass, and this is great for focus damage like when there's the biggest guy in the trash bag, or for certain boss fights like during Tyrannical weeks. It'll be fantastic for the pure single target damage, though it doesn't offer anything in regards to spread dots or spread AoE or enhancing those playstyles. In PvP, you get access to Internal Bleeding, which is an extra bleed that you get to add when you lock down the enemy inside of your Vendetta. Overall, I like the tier set. The Assassination set seems pretty simple, pretty easy to play with, but I love how it tries to make the bleeds stand out a little bit more. I've always thought that the bleeds are taking a bit too much of a backseat in Shadowlands, and seeing them be a little bit stronger for 9.2 might create some interesting builds going forward. Then we have Outlaw Rogues. The 2-piece allows you Mastery a chance to fire a pistol shot, which gains all the pistol shots benefits even from legendaries. The 4-piece allows pistol shots a 50% chance to give you a buff where you load a hidden bullet. When you stack this buff 6 times, your Between the Eyes will be reset in cooldown and will cost no energy. The obvious legendary synergies that jumped out at me were any legendaries that play with pistol shot, so green skins might be a fantastic option, especially how it synergizes with the 4-piece. Of course, you could always pick up the blunderbuss and just swim in combo points. Overall, what this means is the 2-piece allows your auto attacks to proc mastery hits, and your mastery hits can give you free pistol shots, so you could build combo points passively. The faster you attack, the more chances you have at proccing your mastery, and the more procs gives you more chances at pistol shots. These pistol shots fire off far more often when you actually use abilities like Sinister Strike and Ambush, since that's an extra attack that has a chance to proc your mastery. These free pistol shots can also gain benefits from broadsides, a roll the bones buff that gives you more combo points for every ability that generates combo points. This means that your rotation for Outlaw Rogue is unpredictable. It's really RNG just how many combo points you're going to be generating as you play your spec. There are moments where I'm getting so many pistol shots I could just go for back-to-back finishers, so I think the Flagellation Venthyr playstyle is going to synergize with the 2-piece combo. With how many combo points you generate, it just feels criminal, which fits the spec name Outlaw Rogue since you're outside of the law, cheating to get free combo points. This is going to be a playstyle that not everyone will be happy with. The unpredictability of the combo points you generate, I think, can turn some people off, especially with a spec that has so much RNG already tied to it. Though for me personally, I kind of love the idea of this tier set. I've played with it quite a bit so far, and I've adjusted to it pretty easily. I feel like it fits the Outlaw Rogue name, the rogue that lives outside of the law. So if the rogue just wants to randomly fire off pistol shots through auto attacks, let them. He doesn't really play by the rules anyway. Fast-paced gameplay aside, the extra combo points turn into more finishers, and finishers gives you faster cooldown reduction, which overall goes to speed up the spec even more. This tier set does really well inside of single target fights, like in M pluses during boss fights. I feel like I'm getting so many combo points that the Venthyr playstyle seems to be super synergetic with it. In AoE, it doesn't change that much because a lot of your single target is transformed into cleave thanks to Blade Flurry. Though, the target cap in 9.2 really does feel kinda heavy, and I wonder if that will be readdressed for Outlaw Rogue going into this next build. For me, this tier set definitely has a lot of fun factor to it. There's also legendaries that could synergize with it, whether you run the Blunderbuss legendary, which will be way too many combo points, or if you run the Greenskin legendary for extra pistol shot damage. Finally, we have the Subtlety set. The 2-piece bonus allows Shadow Strike a 20% chance to grant you Shadow Blades for 5 seconds. This can extend your currently active Shadow Blades if you want to, and can chain off of itself. The 4 set allows your finisher moves a 4% chance per combo point to cast Shadow Strike at up to 5 nearby enemies. This free Shadow Strike can benefit from the 2-piece set. There's even a looping combination where the 4-piece can actually get the free Shadow Strike that procs the bonus effect of the 2-piece. It's a tier set that kind of weaves into itself, kind of like a circle, and it just continues perpetually doing that over and over. The 4-piece can proc off of Slice and Dice, Rupture, Eviscerate, or Black Powder, so literally any finisher in the game can proc the 4-piece. With this set, you also get a far bigger uptime on Shadow Blades, which is even more damage. And just like Outlaw Rogue, the 4-piece gives you a very unpredictable combo point generation, which reduces the cooldown of your Shadow Dance, so you can use dances more often inside of PvE scenarios. In single target scenarios, this is a pretty good tier set. The amount of combo points you get out of it and the uptime in Shadow Blades is noticeable. This tier set does not work with the Akari's legendary, however. The free Shadow Strikes you get will not activate the Akari's free Shadow Strikes, but every other legendary combo will work. You are very likely to play this tier set for PvE with Venthyr Covenant. The synergy between the combo points you get to spend and generate, together with Flagellation, just seems like a no-brainer. This tier set is also pretty good in AoE as well. The 4-piece will let your Shadow Strikes strike at the enemy targets, generating combo points, but every one of those Shadow Strikes can also grant you Shadow Blades. The 4-piece can proc back to back, so there are moments where you just spam in Black Powder instead of a Trash Bag multiple times in a row. As if Subtlety needed an easier AoE rotation, between Shuriken Storm and Black Powder, Blizzard found a way for you just to spam one button instead of 2. But overall, this seems like a very effective set. Some of you guys are not gonna like the set though because of the lack of precision. Normally with Subtlety, every time you're inside of a Shadow Dance window, you know exactly how many combo points you're going to generate and how many finishers you're going to get. This chance to proc can really mess up your rotation in a way that gives you more combo points for more finishers, which can be beneficial. I mean, that's just more damage, but it does kind of mess up the predictability of Subtlety. This is a spec that's all about planning your cooldowns, and your cooldowns are going to be all over the place since your finishers can reduce the CDU of dance windows. Though after the adjustment that the tier set will need, I think a lot of you will find this pretty useful for the damage output. I think this has a lot of potential for single target and especially in AoE, especially if you just love big random dumb amounts of AoE damage randomly thrown in your face. And think about the benefits in PvP. As long as these free shadow strikes do not hit targets hit by crowd control, like blinds, polymorphs, saps, traps, anything that can be broken with damage, as long as there's control that the free damage doesn't hit anything that shouldn't be hit, this could be a lot of common points and a lot of pressure. Out of all three rogue spec tier sets, I think Subtlety has the potential to be the strongest one, though it's just as random as the Outlaw rogue one, which is the one I personally favor as someone who plays a lot of Outlaw. I think this is looking like a really powerful boon for Subtlety going forward into 9.2. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. It was super fun taking a look at my main class and taking a look at the different bonus tier sets that we'll be getting in patch 9.2. If you guys enjoyed this video or found it informative, give it a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. And let me know in the comments, what do you think about these tier sets yourselves? Which spec are you leaning towards more if you are going to be playing Rogue in 9.2 based off of tier sets alone? Or if you have any ideas of what class I should probably cover in the future video for PTR, let me know in the comments or hit me up on Discord. There's always a link towards the channel Discord in the description. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see all of you in the next one.